Most men will never hear this truth directly. People usually try to be polite, but I want to give it to you straight. Here is a simple reality that is often hard to accept. The more available you are, the less a woman values your presence. It is like background noise. If a sound is always playing, you eventually stop hearing it altogether. When you are always the one to text first, or when you feel the need to explain every little thing you are showing your entire hand. By doing this, you stop being a strong force in her life and become something she simply expects to be there. You become part of the background of her daily life, rather than someone she truly notices and respects. This might sound backwards. Most of us were taught that more effort leads to better results. We were told that if we just show enough love and give enough time, it will be returned. But relationships do not work like a math problem. They run on emotional contrast. Constant presence, no matter how well-intentioned, destroys that contrast. Think about someone in your life who is always around and always agreed with you. Over time, you probably stopped noticing what they brought to the table. It wasn't because they were bad people. It happened because their consistency became invisible to your brain. This is not about being cruel. It is just how humans are wired. We do not value what is given to us for free. We are built to notice what shifts, what changes, and what suddenly disappears. The truth is that she often feels your absence much more deeply than she ever felt your presence. This happens because absence forces a person to reflect in a way that constant attention does not. When you are always there, she is simply reacting to you. When you are gone, she has to deal with the space you used to fill. Many men confuse access with connection. They think being reachable at any hour means they are close to her. But true closeness needs room to breathe. It requires the occasional silence that makes your voice actually matter when you finally speak. Distance does not break a real connection. It reveals whether that connection was real in the first place. Psychologists call this hedonic adaptation. It is a fancy way of saying that people get used to things very quickly. When you buy a new car, it feels amazing for a few weeks, but eventually, it just becomes the car you use to get to work. The human brain is not designed to keep celebrating what it already feels safe having. It is designed to look for what is changing or what might be lost. When you are always available and always the first to reach out, you become something she already has locked in. The moment something feels completely secure, the human brain stops feeling the need to value it as much. This is not a flaw in how women think. It is how all humans react to consistency that lacks boundaries. A man who is always available, without his own goals or a life of his own, accidentally takes all the tension out of the relationship. Healthy tension is what keeps interest alive. It is the feeling of two separate people choosing to be together, rather than two people who have merged into one. When a man gives everything without asking for anything in return, he does not come across as a hero. He comes across as low stakes. It signals that he has nowhere else to be, and nothing else in his life matters as much as she does. While that sounds like a fairy tale, it actually kills the curiosity and admiration that build attraction. Giving too much does not make you more valuable. It makes you feel replaceable. The moment you stop filling every gap with your energy, the rhythm starts to change. That empty space does something your words never could. It makes her think about what is no longer there. You cannot talk someone into seeing your value, but you can create the space where they realize it on their own. When you stop doing all the emotional heavy lifting, you give her the chance to step up. What she does with that space will tell you everything you need to know about her true feelings. Your absence makes the memories of who you are much sharper. This is when she starts to wonder if she took you for granted. However, this only works if your presence actually had substance. If you were clingy or insecure, your absence will feel like a relief. A pullback only works when you are a man who is grounded and steady. Absence does not create value out of thin air. It only highlights the value that was already there. Do not turn this into a game. Faking distance is just another way of being obsessed with her. There is a huge difference between a man who plays a game and a man who steps back because his self-respect demands it. She can feel that difference. When a man moves his focus back to his own life because he refuses to beg for attention, it feels like she is losing something great. She probably won't tell you how she feels with words. Instead, she will show you through small changes. She might test the door with a casual text to see if you are still available. She might pay more attention to what you are doing on social media. When you do talk, she may seem warmer or more interested in deep conversations. People rarely measure how much something is worth while they are holding it. They measure it when they aren't sure if they will ever hold it again. The real goal here is not to make her miss you. The goal is to become a man whose worth does not fall apart just because someone else fails to see it. Most men are afraid of silence because it forces them to be alone with themselves. They build their confidence on what a woman says about them, rather than on their own lives. The man who truly succeeds is the one who does not panic if he doesn't get a text back. He cares, but his happiness is not something he handed over to someone else to hold. His worth was decided long before she showed up. When you are truly secure, your absence becomes powerful because your life is actually busy and meaningful. If someone only values you after you walk away, that is an important lesson. It means you were being undervalued while you were right there giving your best. Being tolerated is not the same as being loved. Tolerance is just convenience. Do not disappear just to get someone to notice you. Disappear from any place where you are not deeply valued. Only show up where people meet you with the same energy and care that you bring. A man who knows his worth does not have to chase. He stands tall, lets the truth speak for itself, and understands exactly where he belongs.